Some adults and teachers may think young people want to spend all of their time using social media. But a recent survey shows that may not be true. It found that students sometimes want to turn off their electronic devices to get away from the pressure to take part in social media. For the study, researchers led a series of discussions at classes in the United States. They asked young people what they thought about social media. The survey was a project of Common Sense Media, a nonprofit group based in California, and a learning games platform called Kahoot. 8 out of 10 students said that some people think too much about their social media posts and are always trying to be perfect. About a third said it was acceptable to post a version of yourself on social media that's not 100% real. The students also talked about the issue of publishing unkind or hateful comments online. More than half of those questioned said that social media are tearing us apart more than they are bringing people together. With this in mind, how can teachers help? Today, we will look at how teachers can support good digital citizenship through safe, kind, and healthy use of social media. Common Sense Media defines digital citizenship as thinking critically, behaving safely, and participating responsibly in the digital world. For more about this subject, see the VOA Learning English series on news literacy. Teachers can begin by talking with students about how they use social media. How does it make them feel? Do the young people want to change anything about the way they interact with others online? Teachers should learn what computer application programs their students use most often. Teachers should then use this information to keep in contact with students and share homework assignments. Next, define the words cyberbullying, digital drama, and hate speech. Young people need to recognize the differences among these issues and know how to deal with them. Common Sense Media has free lesson plans for all grade levels on digital citizenship. They include videos and other images to explain the ideas at the student's level. Digital drama is the everyday arguments and small problems that come up between friends or with other people you know online or via text message. Hate speech means expressing hatred of a particular group of people. For younger students, this is called being mean. Teachers should let students know they are available to help when students face online problems. Experts say teachers should choose a social media app their students often use. Limit posts or messages to once per class period, or to what is necessary to provide information to students. Bailey DiPlato is an English teacher and lives in New Jersey. She told National Public Radio that she did not want to use Facebook to communicate with students because it is too personal. Although her students have email, she found they do not often look at it. DiPlato instead chose the social networking service Twitter to give out homework and reading materials. She says Twitter lets her share information quickly and show how to use social media in a professional, healthy way. Another idea is to get students to ask questions on the shared app, as one person's question is probably shared by others. teachers have to make sure they do not help one individual without giving the same information to all students. Experts also say teachers need to set time limits for using social media with students. Teachers could say they will only answer questions until 9 at night on school nights, for example. They need to explain that adults, too, need to unplug sometimes and get away from their phones and computers. Part of digital citizenship is related to privacy. When sharing something done in class, teachers must remember to post pictures of students' work, but not of the students themselves. This is done to protect the online privacy of students. Social media, electronics, and digital resources are an increasingly large part of students' lives. Experts say that with the guidance of teachers and other adults, young people can learn to become good digital citizens. I'm Jill Robbins.
At least 15 Rohingya refugees are confirmed dead, and many more are missing after a boat overturned early Tuesday in the Bay of Bengal. The boat was said to be overloaded with about 130 refugees. Commander Sohail Rana of the Coast Guard station on St. Martin's Island, Bangladesh, spoke about the incident. He said the wooden boat was traveling to Malaysia when it struck coral. The boat was full of refugees from camps around Cox's Bazar. Fishermen told the Coast Guard about the accident. The Coast Guard found the boat sinking, with survivors swimming and crying for help. Navy divers joined the Coast Guard for the rescue operation. Rescuers saved 73 people and recovered 15 bodies. Among the dead were women and children. A Coast Guard spokesman, Hamidul Islam, said, "The chance of finding any survivors is slim." But he added, "We are continuing the search and rescue operations." Jamila Bibi from the Kutupalong refugee camp is one of the survivors. She said she was going to see her husband in Malaysia. "I was going to him, but I cannot go to my destination now," she said. A Rohingya teenager who declined to give his name said, "I can't eat properly at camp, can't move freely. I thought if I go to Malaysia, maybe I can live a better life. So I wanted to go to Malaysia by boat." More than 730,000 Rohingya fled Myanmar after a military-led campaign against them in 2017. They were forced into crowded camps across the border in Bangladesh. Several attempts to send Rohingya Muslims back to the Buddhist-majority Myanmar have not been successful. The United Nations Refugee Agency, UNHCR, says Malaysia had nearly 100,000 Rohingya refugees at the end of 2019. That is the second largest number of any country after Bangladesh. Many of the refugees in Cox's Bazar have tried to make the dangerous trip to Malaysia by sea. Last November, Bangladesh's Coast Guard rescued 122 Rohingya refugees traveling to Malaysia. Their boat started sinking because of a mechanical problem. After news reports of the drownings Tuesday, the aid group Save the Children released a statement. It said, "The Rohingya refugee crisis has claimed yet more innocent victims today. The humanitarian organization called the drownings a wake-up call and urged Myanmar to ensure the Rohingya community can return to their homes in a safe and dignified manner. I'm Ashley Thompson.
The Philippines has informed the United States that it is ending a security agreement that permits American forces to train in the country. A spokesman for Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte said U.S. officials were informed of the decision on Tuesday. The ending of the agreement is set to become official in 180 days unless both sides agree to continue it. The 1998 agreement sets rules for U.S. military forces operating in the Philippines. The two nations hold many joint military exercises and training activities throughout the year. Presidential spokesman Salvador Panelo told reporters the Philippines was withdrawing from the agreement to permit more independent relations with other countries. Philippine Foreign Secretary Teodoro Lacson said on Twitter that President Duterte ordered the end of the agreement. In a statement, the U.S. Embassy in Manila called the move a serious step with significant implications for the U.S.-Philippines alliance. It said U.S. officials will carefully consider how best to move forward to advance our shared interests. The embassy statement added, "Our two countries enjoy a warm relationship, deeply rooted in history. We remain committed to the friendship between our two peoples." Duterte has often criticized U.S. security policies while praising those of China and Russia, even though the Philippine military enjoys close historic ties with American forces. Duterte first warned of ending the deal in 2016 after a U.S. aid agency put a hold on money for anti-poverty projects in the Philippines. He then repeated the threat in a speech last month. The speech came after Ronald De La Rosa, the former national police chief who is now a senator, said the U.S. had canceled his visa but did not tell him why. Philippine officials view the cancellation as a punishment for De La Rosa's leadership of an anti-drug campaign Duterte launched in 2016. The government campaign has killed thousands of mostly poor drug suspects. It has drawn criticism from the United States, other Western nations, and human rights groups. Duterte decided to end the security agreement even after military generals and his defense and foreign ministers defended it during a Senate hearing last week. During the hearing, Lacson warned that canceling the agreement would harm Philippine security and could increase aggression in the disputed South China Sea. A U.S. military presence in the waterway has been seen as an important balance to China, which claims most of the South China Sea as its territory. At the hearing, Lacson said the agreement clearly provided security and economic benefits to both sides. He proposed seeking changes to improve the agreement rather than ending it. I'm Brian Lynn.